All right, then, let's just get settled into a nice, comfortable seated posture. And welcome, everybody. Always so nice to see you all. Both feet flat on the floor, about hips width apart, and align your shoulders with your hips and your ears with your shoulders. And imagine your spine is this beautiful string of pearls of light stretching from the base all the way up through the crown of the head. And just imagine you're lengthening your spine. And then go to the crown of the head and release any tension there. Relax the forehead, the eyes, the back of the eyes, the eyebrows even, your eyelashes, and your nose and your cheeks, and the area around your mouth, the jaw, the back of the tongue, the temples, the back of the head, and then your neck, and allow shoulders and shoulder blades just to drop down. And relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Feel the weight of your hands in your lap. And just start to bring some awareness to your breath. Noticing the sensation of the air as you inhale and exhale. The nostrils, the chest cavity. Be aware of any distractions in your environment. And that includes sounds, smells, whatever from outside. So Jerry's husband's mowing the lawn. She's kind of waiting for the sound. And then there's going to be that smell of fresh mowed lawn. So all of these kind of information can be a little distracting. And then inside your room where you are now, there may be some distractions. Some of those distractions might be right in front of you, your computer. I was talking to someone this morning, and there may be a temptation to check your emails during the session or even Facebook. So notice that as a distraction. Notice when that distraction arises in the mind. Oh, I'll just check. Because this practice is only 30 minutes. And whatever's going on there will still be there in 30 minutes' time. And it's okay. If you can't resist the temptation, that's okay too. So just notice that it's just not about giving ourselves a hard time. Just notice what causes us to be distracted. We're just developing self-awareness here. And then it's the same with the mind. Just allow the thoughts to arise and abide. Try not to judge what's in your mind or yourself, your thoughts. Just allow them to arise and abide and, just float away without engaging with them. Sometimes we create very elaborate stories. And then just bring to mind all the people of your life, your loved ones, your strangers, the ones that you find a little bit irritating, you don't like. And just remember, and you've probably experienced this yourself, they'll all change place. They can change place at any time. They're all equal. No matter how you feel about any one particular person at any particular time, they're all equal. They want to be happy. They don't want to suffer, and they all have this extraordinary capacity for a Buddha mind. So we think we'll do this meditation this evening for all these people of our life, and by extension, all the sentient beings. And so, as I just said in the last class, there may be something you've seen on the news or in social media or you've read in an email that's touched your heart. So you can dedicate for those people, that person. So we think there is no negativity that can't be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. We create negativity with our mind, so equally we can change it by creating positivity instead. And we start with this power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And just think of specific actions of your body and your speech. And then the reason to regret is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past actions, our past karma. So having harmed others, we ourselves will necessarily experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering we might have. So logically, it makes sense to remove the karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this. I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And then also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And then think, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, well, okay, so what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? And then here we come to the power of reliance. So we rely upon the Buddha. We take refuge in the Buddha. In the same way we take refuge in our doctor when we're sick. We're not necessarily, like when I had my chest infection up in Namche, I didn't go to the doctor looking for forgiveness. I went to the doctor looking for medicine and oxygen. And it's kind of the same here. You're not looking for forgiveness or a higher power. I didn't need a higher power at that point. I needed a doctor and I needed medicine. So it's the same here. We're seeing Vajrasattva as a provider, and we do the work ourselves. So you imagine Vajrasattva above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is the mind of your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit, and he's made of this beautiful, radiant, blissful white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion, and he has a beautiful, radiant face. His eyes are long and they're peaceful and they're full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. And Vajrasattva has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and it's held up in a top knot above his head. And his arms are crossed at his heart. And the left hand is closest to the heart and it's holding a bell. This bell represents wisdom. And the right hand is holding a vajra or a dorje, and this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two, and this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, we need to rely upon other beings, so the very beings we've harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of people you've harmed recently and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. So you're developing a wish for them to be free from suffering. And then remember those who have harmed you, and then have compassion for them, because the harm they've caused you is going to result as suffering for them sometime in the future. So you make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings and think, I must purify for their sake. And then we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the medicine, doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart. So really strong nectar. And it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space. Not one atom left as we recite the mantra. So Shayla, go ahead.
Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido mebawa, sutokayo mebawa, supokayo mebawa, anorekta mebawa, sawa siddhi me priyata sawa kama sutra me, sitam shriyam kuruhum, ha 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 ho, bhagawan, sawa tathagata vajramame mutsa vajrabawa maha samaya tapa ahum pe. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tapa Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me Sitam Triyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tapa Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me Sitam Triyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tapa Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me Sitam Triyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tapa Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Deno Patita Dido Mebawa Sutokayo Mebawa Supokayo Mebawa Anorakta Mebawa Sawa Siddhi Me Priyata Sawa Kama Sutra Me Sitam Shriyam Kuruhum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tathagata Vajramame Mutsa Vajrabawa Maha Samaya Tapa Ahum Pe.
So be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is completely purified, and think that there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. And next is the purification of our speech. So now Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and it arcs around and quite forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body, except this time forcing up to the top of the body all the negativity of the speech. So it quite forcefully gets pushed out of the top of the body, and as it pushes out all your angry speech, jealous speech, all this kind of lying speech, inappropriate speech, talking about people behind their backs kind of speech. Just imagine that's all kind of disappearing out of the top parts of the body as we recite the mantra again. So go ahead, you guys in Bali.
Um,
Right. Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasatha Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokai Mebawa Sipokai Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawasi Maybe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Kuru Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawatata Gata Bhaja Mami Mutta Bhaja Bhava Mahasamaya Sata Apumpe Om Vajrasatha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasatha Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokai Mebawa Sipokai Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Sidi Maybe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Kuro Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Bhaja Mami Mutta Bhaja Bhava Mahasamaya Sata Apumpe Om Vajrasatha Samaya Manipalaya Vajrasatha Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokai Mebawa Sipokai Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Sidi Maybe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Kuro Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Bhaja Mami Mutta Bhaja Bhava Mahasamaya Sata Apompe Om Vajrasatha Samaya Manipalaya Vajrasatha Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokai Mebawa Sipokai Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Sidi Maybe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Kuro Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Bhaja Mami Mutta Bhaja Bhava Mahasamaya Sata Apompe Om Vajrasatha Samaya Manipalaya Vajrasatha Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokai Mebawa Sipokai Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Sidi Maybe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Kuro Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Bhaja Mami Mutta Bhaja Bhava Mahasamaya Sata Apompe Om Vajrasatha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasatha Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokai Mebawa Sipokai Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Sidi Maybe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Kuro Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Bhaja Mami Mutta Bhaja Bhava Mahasamaya Sata Apompe Om Vajrasatha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasatha Dina Patita Dita Mebawa Sitokai Mebawa Sipokai Mebawa Anarakta Mebawa Sawa Sidi Maybe Yata Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shiam Kuro Hum Ha 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 Ho Bhagawan Sawa Tata Gata Bhaja Mami Mutta Bhaja Bhava Mahasamaya Sata Apompe
So feel so happy now that your speech is completely purified. Imagine it's not possible to do anything except benefit others with your speech, including yourself. Next is the purification of our mind, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So as instantaneously as the light coming in a dark room when you click on that switch. The same here. The moment the light from Vajrasattva's heart hits your heart chakra, all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so all your attachment, neediness, anger, depression, resentment, jealousy, bitterness, grudges, disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled, not one atom left as you recite the mantra. Go ahead, Sasha.
Om Vajrasatha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasatha Tena Patita Didam Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurakta Mebawa Savasidi Mepasa Savakama Susame Tisashia Kuru Hom Ha 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 O Bhagavan Savatata Vajrama Mimutta Vajrava Mahasamaya Sato Ahom Pe Om Vajrasatha Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasatha Tena Patita Didam Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anurata Mebawa Savasidi Mepasa Savakama Susame Tisashia Kuru Maho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Musa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sato Ahope Om Vajrasato Samaya Manipalaya Vajrasato Tenapatita Tida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anurata Mebawa Savasidi Mepasa Savakama Susame Tisashia Kuru Hom Ho Bhagavan Savatata Gata Vajramami Musa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sato Ahope Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manipalaya Vajrasattva Tenapatita Tida Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supakaya Mebawa Anurata Mebawa Savasidi Mepatsa Savakama Susame Tisashia Guru Om Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan
Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sato Ahom Te. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita. Dida me bhava Sutokaya me bhava Supakaya me bhava. Anurata me bhava Savasidi me Payasa Savakama Susame. Tisashiya Guru Om Aho Bhagavan. Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sato Ahom Te. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita. Dida me bhava Sutokaya me bhava Supakaya me bhava. Anurata me bhava Savasidi me Payasa Savakama Susame. Tisashiya Guru Om Aho Bhagavan. Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sato Ahom Te. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Denupatita. Dida me bhava Sutokaya me bhava Supakaya me bhava. Anurata me bhava Savasidi me Payasa Savakama Susame. Tisashiya Guru Om Aho Bhagavan. Savatata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabhava Mahasamaya Sato Ahom Te.
Again, be delighted that all your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering and the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And then think there's no space in your heart now for anything other than love and kindness, forgiveness, wisdom, and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. And this time, imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar, and it fills you completely. So you imagine the nectar flowing down, purifying the body, and the nectar flowing up, purifying the speech, and then the light coming and purifying the delusions. And this is happening all at the same time. And as you're imagining that, you're also reciting the mantra, which I will do now. Because doing all that together with the mantra, and it eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from your consciousness. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasidi Mebi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawa Sidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Situkaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Jida Meboa Sitokaya Meboa Sipokaya Meboa Anurakta Meboa Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sitame Sitam Shriyam Guru Hum Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sattva Ahum Pe So now feel you're completely purified. Not one atom of negativity is left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now the power of resolve, and this is the fourth and final step in the purification process. It's really crucial because here we have to decide. We've got to be kind of honest with ourselves. I don't want to harm anyone anymore. This is my plan. Or ever. You know, we've done the regret. So the regret implies that you kind of want to do something about it. So here we're taking action, even if it's just a plan. So you first of all rejoice in your efforts for coming along this evening. I know for some of you it's quite really quite late. So that's kind of amazing. So then think something you'd like to work on. Just keep it really simple. Don't make a big, you know, a big project out of it because you'll never do it. Just a really simple, maybe something you noticed. You know, sometimes it's better to keep the bigger things for later and just start with something simple and easy. You can get encouragement from doing that. And then this determination to refrain from harming, and you know, it just gives us some focus and direction. So imagine Vajrasattva is delighted with us and wants to merge with your mind and melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown, and you think, my teacher's body, speech, and mind, and Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same. So Lama Zopa Rinpoche would talk about, you know, meditating on a little bit of emptiness at the end. So we say, in emptiness there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma, and there is no negative karma created. So just place your mind there on emptiness, even if you only know that word. You've not received any teachings on it, you have no idea what it is, just the word. And then you think, all phenomena are empty. So all things are empty. They don't exist from their own side. So you can also think that the way things are in fact appearing to me might not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So there's many examples of that all over the place. I love this idea that a dog doesn't see the same things we see, but they smell a huge amount more. So their worldview is different to ours. Anyway, just leave that with you for a minute. Let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy we've created doing this practice to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. Okay. Chanting the names of Manjushri. Uprooting all becoming with 12 links, endowed with purity in all 12 forms, his form the way of fourfold noble truth, with realization of the eightfold knowledge, with meaning of the truths in 12-fold form, aware of suchness in its 16 forms, with true awakening in 20 forms, awakened fully, knowing all supreme, dispatching countless sets of some 10 million embodiments of emanating Buddhas, the final realization of all moments, who knows each moment's object for all minds. All right, everybody. Lots of love. Good night. I will see some of you tomorrow morning, and let's have a strong wish for His Holiness to live long, for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche's unmistaken reincarnation, is how they like to put it. And then, of course, all of your own teachers, those people who've helped you, just strong wish for them to have long, happy, healthy lives. All right, everybody. Good night, sweet dreams, and I'll see you tomorrow morning or evening.